I know what keeps you up at night. You've been thinking about it for weeks. It's running through your mind right now. Well, I think it's about time we put this one to rest. Which one is better? Klean Kanteen or Hydro Flask?
Hey team, welcome back to another Levi Save the World Hildebrand episode. The channel where we prove that you don't need to be a hero to save the planet. Today, yes, finally, is the follow-up video to my Klean Kanteen video. And by far, the most requested bottle was the Hydro Flask. So for the sake of this video, I went out and I purchased myself my own Hydro Flask bottle. And I tried to get the specifications as similar to my Klean Kanteen so they can be an equal matchup. These are 20-ounce thermal insulated bottles with screw top lids. The only difference is the Hydro Flask does have a slightly smaller top, which isn't my preference, but actually wasn't that big of a deal. If you want to know why I chose this particular style of bottle, that is all explained in my previous video about Klean Kanteen. Feel free to check that out. So now I'm sitting on a bear, which I felt was probably the best place for me to explain the difference between these two bottles. And from what I have noticed over the last couple weeks of using both, there isn't really a whole lot. The technology of thermal insulation is relatively simple, and once you have thermal insulation, it can really only get so good. But Klean Kanteen is the winner. They get 14 hours of hot water and 48 hours of cold water, whereas Hydro Flask is only about 12 and 24. I'm gonna get off of this bear's lap now because it's starting to feel weird. In terms of how these bottles compare in daily use, they are again very, very similar, but there was one thing that I thought the Hydro Flask actually did a little bit better. See, Hydro Flask has a smaller lid in this particular size, and that was a deal breaker for me on the Klean Kanteen because that makes it a lot harder to clean inside the bottle. But Hydro Flask does have something unique, which is this lid. The lid on the Klean Kanteen bottle is indented, which means that you have to stick your Kleanie Scrubby inside of the lid to clean it out, which is difficult to do. But Hydro Flask actually has a protruding lid, which exposes the ribs of the lid itself and makes it a lot easier to clean. Plus, with this narrower mouthpiece, it is a lot easier to drink out of when you're on the go. Another thing that's unrelated to actual performance and use of the bottle is branding. Hydro Flask is sexy. Hydro Flask has a sort of hashtag wanderlust sort of branding. Big, bold colors, simple designs, and even some special edition color releases, which has made them very successful. Now, having used both of these bottles extensively, I can say that they are both extremely high quality, and they are both an awesome alternative to single-use options. But there is one reason why I believe that Klean Kanteen is the clear winner. And that is because Klean Kanteen is way more than just a water bottle company. The first thing I do whenever I research any company is I look up whether or not they're a B Corporation. And a B Corporation is basically an organization that has proven itself to be a multifaceted company that cares about more than just the bottom line. And Klean Kanteen actually rates quite highly on their charts, whereas Hydro Flask isn't even on their list. Digging deeper onto their website, you can see that Klean Kanteen is truly committed to their environmental policies. They are a part of the 1% for the Planet program, which is a bunch of companies that have committed 1% of their total profits to preserving natural areas. Their headquarters in California and all of their shipping is entirely carbon neutral. But this is more than just a statement, because they have broken down with incredible detail how they buy their offsets, who through, and how much. But this is not just their own little project that they have going on, because they also support other organizations' interests in saving the environment.
These things include stuff like aquatic plastic pollution research, restoring river ecosystems, and providing outdoor educational learning experiences for youth. But they also like to have fun. They have partnered with festivals and events all across North America to help them create a plastic-free or at least cup-free environment for their celebrations. But it's not just the things that they do. It's all about the way that they do them. And you can tell that this company is truly committed to these things by the way that they talk about them. Listen to this. A sustainable business considers how individual aspects of operations interrelate with the external world and consciously adopts practices that benefit more than the bottom line. A sustainable business recognizes that in order to survive and thrive far into the future, it must consider the sum total of its interaction with people, the environment, culture, and technology. In some ways, true sustainability is an impossible goal because it's an ongoing project, a never-ending path. And that is why I think that Klean Kanteen is better than Hydro Flask. The bottles are similar, the technology is great, but when it comes down to it, which company has more at stake than just making money? And the clear and obvious answer is Klean Kanteen. And you might have noticed those incredibly sexy looking Klean Kanteen bottles that I showed in the B-roll, and that's because those are the bottles that I'm going to be giving away in this video. And seeing as Christmas is coming up, I wanted to thank all of the people who have subscribed to this channel. If you are interested in these bottles, I encourage you to enter the contest to win one, and I will be announcing and shipping before Christmas time. Entering this contest is going to be very easy. All you have to do is follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and then leave a comment in this video explaining what you plan on using this bottle for. Remember that you do not need to be a hero to save the planet, and we will see you in the next one.